Now it's time for more Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
This is a Star Trek that you like.
No, I just enjoy watching how bad it is. Star Trek Voyager Season 2, Episode 16 is called Meld. And
Mind Meld? With Tuvok?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Guess whose episode this is? Tuvok. And similar to, because this is only his second episode where he's the main character of it, and similar to the last one, which was pretty funny, because that one he was giving crap to all those four Maquis crew member,
right,
and making them run up and down the Jeffries tubes and across the whole ship, and just being a jerk to them. So this one was very different, but it was actually quite good. I enjoyed it. And you're like, Tuvok, right? He's terrible. He's boring. But no, they're actually the writers must have gotten together and be like, okay, what can we do to make Tuvok interesting? And what do fans want to see in this episode?
Yeah, well, I don't mind Tuvok, but he is kind of boring.
But they bring in a heavy, which is a Hollywood term, the entertainment industry term, where they bring in a bigger actor to guest star, and he or she is the heavy, so usually the villain, right?
Okay.
So they bring in, what's his name there? This Brad Dourif. Okay.
Yeah, Brad Dourif.
Okay, who he's most famous for being in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where he played Grima Wormtongue in The Two Towers. But also, if you watch the extended version of the Lord of the Ring, Return of the King, which all 4 hours and 20 minutes of it,
villain.
Which we watched, he also appears in the second one too. First time I saw this guy was probably 1997. He's been acting forever, but I saw him in Alien Resurrection. He was one of the evil scientists
that plays a good evil
helped bring back the aliens and Sigourney Weaver to kill the aliens. Because what else are you gonna do with aliens? You gotta kill them, right? It's either you or them.
Not if you're in Star Trek. They have to be your crewmates.
They got xenomorphs in Starfleet.
No, but they have weird-looking aliens all the time. They have to be friendly too.
I want to see that crossover. I want to see Star Trek, and they come across Alien, the xenomorph. They would be like, kill them all! Screw the Prime Directive, wipe these things out! I want to see that. Okay? Anyway, so this episode, they bring in Brad Dourif, and he's the heavy. He's playing crewman Lon Suter. He's a betazoid. He's got these black eyes.
Oh, yeah, that'd be creepy. He looks creepy.
Yeah, he has a creepy look, and he's got a good voice for that.
Yeah. Like that David's just Smolchin. He also has a creepy look to him.
So it starts off, I don't know if you get to see all the characters in this. I think it starts off in engineering with B'Elanna, because she's sciencing it up again. Mm-hmm. And she's talking to one of the other engineers. I think it's the guy from the funeral, where that was giving the captain a hard time at the funeral a couple episodes ago.
Okay.
And so they're talking, and then suddenly there's this half a second flash where it flashes to this other engineer who's just working away, And first I thought, was that Reg Barclay? Did they bring him? Did they bring back old Reg Barclay?
In almost everyone.
No, it was only because it was such a quick flash and I didn't and it was far off. It was Brad Dourif's character, Lon Suter. So they just showed this guy for half a second. He's just working away, looking creepy. And then later on, Tuvok is checking out something. Where is it? B'Elanna, and finds a dead crewman. The engineer that she was talking to.
Oh.
So he turns up dead. Okay.
In for Janeway.
And what happens is Tuvok shows up and he has a meeting with the captain and the XO. So with Janeway and Chakotay.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's just trying to make excuses. Like, he's supposed to be a security chief, but he's really bad at his job. He keeps making excuses like, oh, maybe this happened, this is how this guy died, right?
Could be anything that they're flying through all those nebulas.
But the doctor, they're in sickbay. Yeah, so the doctor is proving them wrong and just being a smart ass. They're like, no, actually, you're wrong, that's security chief. This is what happened. And then he declares it a murder. Okay?
Oh, yes, a murder mystery.
But the whole time, Tuvok keeps trying to make excuses like he's trying to get out of work.
He doesn't think it's a murder?
I think he's just trying to get out of work. And the doctor keeps proving him wrong, and
Wow.
a normal person would get pissed off. But because it's Tuvok, he just stands there.
Logically, most deaths are not murder, I suppose.
So, no, most are not. So he has a case, and now he has to investigate. So he's like, "Ah,
does he get
damn it.
his trench coat on and his little hat in the holodeck first?"
It doesn't take him very long to solve it.
Oh.
Okay, he goes and questions
Brad Dorff?
Brad Dorff, Lon Suter. So he goes to question crewman Suter, and he's like, "No, I didn't do it." And then later on, he gets some more evidence, goes back, and he's like, and questions him again, and he's just like, "Yeah, I did it. I don't care."
Yeah, well, they would have, like, if it was a ship built around this time, they would have video cameras in every single part of the ship, right?
You'd think so.
Yeah, they would.
So Suter is just, "Yeah, I did it," and he's a former Maquis. So Tuvok interrogates him, and he's like, "So why'd you do it?" No reason.
His psychological profile is just,
and
he's like one of those, what do they call that when you murder without any emotion?
Psychopath?
Psychopath, yes.
So this guy apparently has a bunch of problems. So Tuvok interrogates him. He tells him, "I just wanted to kill him, you know? I had no reason, right?" And so Tuvok is bothered by this. He can't let it go. Logically, there has to be an explanation.
Right.
Sure there does, right? Logically, there has to be. So he questions him again, and he just says, he looked at me the wrong way. I didn't like how he looked at me.
That's a psychopath talking.
Yeah, so he just keeps giving him BS answers. And this just keeps bothering Tuvok more and more, right?
Okay.
And so it's bothering him so much. He's you see him sitting in the mess hall, and he just wants to be alone, and who comes to talk to him? Neelix.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
Neelix, I'm sure, has so much insight on
It's
this.
so good, and he keeps but this is full on super annoying Neelix. The most annoying you've ever seen. He won't leave Tuvok alone, even though Tuvok keeps asking him politely to leave him be.
Yeah.
And he even sticks his finger in his mouth to try and get him to smile. Okay? Like, he's being really annoying. So what does Tuvok, and then Tuvok gets up to leave, and Neelix still won't bother him. So what does Tuvok do? He turns around, strangles him to death. Okay? Kills Neelix.
Oh my goodness.
And he's really angry, right? So he wants to kill him. We're like, finally, we get to see what everyone wants to see. Well, Neelix is being killed.
Vulcans are supposed to be really strong. And if you know from Mr. Spock, you don't push them over the edge because they can lose their patience and go to their emotional side.
Yeah, their primitive side, as they call it. So we see the death of Neelix at the hands of Tuvok.
I think I'd watch that episode to see that.
Great! Oh, it's all in the holodeck. Which means he has a holodeck program just with a programmed annoying Neelix. I wonder if everyone uses this program just so that they can kill Neelix in whatever way they want.
I love the actor and everything, but the way he's so irritating on this show.
I wonder how many crewmen have a program where they can just kill someone on board, and if it's Neelix, okay, you know, they probably all got one of their boss. Right. The engineers probably got B'Elanna. So they can...
Mariner just has one of this naked men's Olympic team.
Sure.
That's her holodeck program.
But doesn't, what's the other guy's name? Borman.
What? Boimler.
Boimler. But doesn't Boimler just have all of his are the different warp cores?
He likes the warp
different warp cores. Okay. So anyway, I thought that was interesting that he has a program just so he can kill Neelix off. I like that. Instead of actually going to the mess hall, he goes to the holodeck.
To get his aggression out before he meets him in person.
Okay. So now, in order to solve this case, Tuvok is like, he goes to Suter, and he's like, we're going to do a mind meld. And Suter's like, sure, you want to be in my mind and I'm going to be in yours? Okay.
That's not a good idea.
But he doesn't have any Betazoid powers.
Don't they all have that?
He's going on that he doesn't have any. So this is just a weird guy.
That's weird against.
But also we find out when this guy was in the Maquis, this guy was a bit too good at his job. Okay?
Oh.
This guy's got psychopathic problems, and he's like.
Well, it does appear that way.
And problems with killing people. They just took him
because it seemed like anyone could join them.
Well, he was a bit too good at killing Cardassians, is what Chakotay said. Like, he enjoyed it too much.
I think the Bajorans were probably good at it too.
So, perfect guy for a mind meld with, right?
not.
So it does a mind meld, and it screws up Tuvok.
Exactly. I was gonna say, I don't think you're supposed to do mind meld with a Betazoid.
Screws him up. He gets all angry and he can't control his emotions.
Goes off the.
But Suitor, he loves it. He's like, he gets some control. He gets a little bit more control. So he's like, we got to do it again. And Tuvok's not having it. And Tuvok eventually seals himself in his quarters.
Yeah, I think I do recall
and takes away his security clearance.
Does he have to have his candles burning and he has to do a ceremony or something?
No, he just trashes the whole place. Ooh. Okay? He just breaks everything. So Janeway has to go and get him out and be like, hey, do your goddamn job.
Yeah.
And finish this and do your job. You can't just be hiding out here. So anyway, they have to get the doctor involved.
Right.
And then the doctor, for some reason, makes them into primitive evil Tuvok. So we see evil Tuvok. There's a whole bunch of Tuvoks in this episode. There's the normal, boring one. Right. Then we see angry Tuvok. Now we see Berserker Tuvok when he's killing Neelix.
Yes.
And apparently when he's in his quarters there. Now we're seeing evil Tuvok.
Well, we saw evil Tuvok too recently. In the other thing I was watching, where he was not Tuvok, he was taken over by an alien.
Oh, one of the Voyager episodes?
No, on the show that I just. What show was that one? Anyway, he was evil
keep
Tuvok.
Going here.
He can be evil.
In the end, he just wants to kill this guy.
Right.
He wants to kill Brad Dourif for some reason. Anyway, because this guy's crazy. So what do they do? What they do? They do another mind meld. Of course. What a great happen. And what happens is Tuvok just passes out. And then the prisoners just stand there like, okay, I'm out of the brig here right now. So what does he do? He uses Tuvok's comm badge to call Chakotay. And Chakotay's like, what are you doing on the comm? You're supposed to be in the brig. He's I'm still here, but Tuvok just passed out. No one else is here. So he turns himself in.
Because he's got too much
Because
Tuvok
he realizes from the melt that he's crazy and he's a danger.
He needs some
and so how's the episode end? Well, the doctor fixes up Tuvok, with his space magic medical science. And as for Suitor, put him in his quarters. He's confined to his quarters for the rest of the journey.
I think you should just put him on some medication.
Yeah, you think they put him on medication, right?
They don't have good medication. Even then, they still don't have good medication.
So anyway, they confine him to his quarters. End of episode. I'm like, so we're gonna see this guy again? I looked it up. We do see him coming up again later on. I do remember him with those black eyes. He actually reprises his role later on, so I'm looking forward to that.
I do remember Mr. I didn't remember what was his name. But...
And then I started looking up other reoccurring characters, like that Ensign Samantha, who I called Ensign Joanne.
Is Q in this one at all?
No, I'm talking about reoccurring characters right now. Okay, so the pregnant ensign. Okay, we'll see her more, and I looked up Seska. We'll see her more as well. I know she's. So I'm looking forward to that.
I don't think she continues after a while, though. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna.
That ends. I was just wondering if Q. I don't remember if Q came to Voyager. Probably.
I think so, but I haven't gotten there yet.
No.
However, this was a fun episode. I recommend checking this out because Tuvok is actually quite interesting. You get a great guest actor. And he's chewing all the scenery on set. He's having a great time. And he steals every scene that he's in.
Right.
Okay? Every scene he's in,
looks so
he's
damn
the
creepy
star.
With those black eyes.
And also you get to see the death of Neelix. So that's why I recommend this episode. Season 2, episode 16. What is it called again? Meld.
Neelix again?
Ethan Phillips?
Ethan Phillips. Oh, sorry, Ethan Phillips.
I met him. He was a nice guy. But we gotta wrap up this episode of Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway.